Good morning, Bill.
You caught me mid. What's up, man? Good morning.
How are you?
Good. I'm not awake yet. I woke up late today, so.
Me too. Did not go on my walk this morning.
Me either.
Went to bed a little bit late because it was kind of like a holiday, I guess. You know, like I'm still working today, but it also feels a bit like a holiday. So
Yeah.
went to bed a little late, woke up late, did not get my walk in, but I'll probably get it after a couple meetings this morning.
Yeah. Same here. I already got it penciled in later today, but yeah. So how's the weekend?
Pretty straightforward. We finished watching Schitt's Creek last night, and man, it is so good. It's every bit as good as The Good Place, right? As far as the arcs and the character development, and like it's a level of subtlety which is really, really interesting. They do such a good job of like having these characters perform arcs without having them like change who they are at like a fundamental level. So it's not like this. I don't know. It's just incredibly well done. So
cool. Yeah. I think I watched one episode and I was like, it's all right.
I did the same thing. Watched a couple of episodes, but was just kind of like, I wasn't really feeling it. And Melissa's a much bigger Christopher Guest fan who worked with Eugene Levy on all these movies, which are kind of not like the basis for this, but it's got a lot of the same kind of humor in it. And I watched a couple of episodes, was like, yeah, this isn't really my thing. And Melissa said the same. And then she got back into it, watched the whole thing, and was like, we can start this again tomorrow if you want. Like that's how excited she was about it. So we started again, and my timing ended up so that way, just as we finished everything that was already on TV, the newest version and the finale launched. So we've been kind of watching that this weekend and over the weekend, and it was so good.
Cool.
Yeah. What do you got today, Bill?
I mean, I actually have a light day today.
Me too.
Yeah. So for Monday, it feels weird to be this light.
Yep.
So yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm doing over on LinkedIn 10 tips 10 day hashtag started this weekend, and that will actually take up a fair amount of my time if I let it. So I'm going to not let it. But it is a great opportunity to connect with a lot more people that potentially could help me find, give me clients. And so I'm going to take that mentality and be looking for specific type of connections and things like that. So I'm looking for podcast guests this week. So we're getting up to, always trying to stay 2 to 3 episodes ahead, or we're never like scrambling for the next week. So I'll be looking for probably the next 2 to 3 episodes to film, and some more connections for potential clients. And so that's the big part of my week. I do have client work this week. I do have the standard stuff, but like, as you know, that takes up 40 to 60% of your week. And you're always looking to fill that extra part.
Yeah. Good morning, Levi. So when you say, so for those who are not familiar with this, right, you said it can take up a lot of your week. You're not going to let it take up a lot of your week. What purposeful, intentional steps are you taking to not let this take over your week?
Right. So I'm the co-founder on this particular hashtag, which means I get tagged on every single person that participates in the campaign. And before the campaign started, there was 1,000 and something people following the hashtag. That's before it even pre-launched. And so it can be like insanely, like I always opened up my LinkedIn during this time, and it says 99 plus on notifications. And it doesn't matter how long ago I checked it. It could have been 30 minutes ago, and it'll go right back to it. So when I say intentional, I have to really search the notifications well, because I want to support people, since that's part of the campaign. But I also want to make sure I can literally spend 12 hours the first week, 12 hours a day commenting, which is fine, but it's not fine. That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. So
interesting.
It's heavy.
Do you like in those moments, right, when you see all those notifications, do you have that pull of like, oh, let me just get in here and like make friends with everybody and make something happen? Or have you, because it doesn't really seem like you're that attached to it, which is nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, when I started the campaign, 2018, I absolutely had that. Like, oh, look at all these people that want to connect with me. Let's get in there, and I guess maybe I just put on my D hat instead of my I hat after the second year because it was so exhausting the second year we did it. So this year I'm just kind of like, I'm here to support it and connect and get to the people I want to get to.
I guess the other side of this coin that is important to talk about, right, is that you've got a couple of like hashtags and solid campaigns that you've got some historical like evidence to, and what happens when you don't continue that momentum, right, of like posting and using that hashtag, like it all kind of goes away. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I think because you talk about this sometimes, and this might be like one of your tips, but sometimes we feel this need to post when we don't really have anything to talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a huge part of your brand, right? Of impact over attention. Uh-huh. So when you've got a couple of these hashtags and stuff like this, how do you maintain the mindset of, okay, I need to post with purpose as opposed to just post to post?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Good thought. When I changed the way I used hashtags, I don't know how long ago it was, but I stopped using eternal hashtags. Like, this is always the hashtag I post for everything. I started doing it more campaign style, meaning there's a start and end date, which that's what 10 Tips 10 Days is. People hop on all the time, but like there's a launch date for it, and there's 10 days worth of content, and so there's like these artificial boundaries, kind of artificial, so that I don't know, 2 weeks from now, when I'm done with my content and I've been supporting people for 2 weeks, I'm not going to feel bad, slowing down and then stopping posting content around that hashtag. It's interesting that you say that because, I do absolutely feel that way, that you shouldn't be posting unless you have something good to post, ideally. Mm-hmm. But there is a business side of the coin where you could post stuff about problems you solve or different things. Like if you go through my content courses and things that I talk about, you can repeat post those so that you can be posting 4 to 5 days a week, and it still is impactful and it still matters because, like we talked about, I forget when it was, but like people don't see your content every day. Like there is a group of 20 people, a little circle, 20, 30, 40, 50 people that see your stuff every day because they're mm-hmm. so engaged, but everyone else misses some of your content all the time. Repeat posting is something that I wasn't always comfortable with because, like you and like a lot of other entrepreneurs who are creative, I was like, I gotta write something new every single time because, I'm creative. It's not the case. You don't have to do that. So there's kind of a hybrid approach there of like, I definitely want what I post to be thoughtful and resourceful and valuable, but now I'm okay with repeat posting things that are thoughtful, resourceful, and valuable.
It's kind of funny. There's a lot of discussion about like creating evergreen content and content that's going to last for forever and stuff like this. So that way you have something that makes sense to, promote on a regular basis. And then we get triggered by, well, I just shared this the other day. Like they've already seen this. It's like, on some level, it's just the utmost levels of narcissism that all these people are just like sitting around waiting to look at your content when there's literally millions of other people doing the same kind of thing.
It's true.
All these algorithms do, I guess some version of a job, like, good or bad or otherwise, of like mixing it up. So, I think we're all individually more concerned, individually more concerned about like marketing fatigue and like wearing ourselves out and stuff like this than, anybody else really is. So
definitely. I think so too. What about you? What do you get this week?
I did not put any thought into my BIL bet this week, so I need to spend some time kind of sitting with that today. I'm not going to have a week of complacency, though. I will have some goals before we chat tomorrow, because it just bothers me to not to at this point. Mm-hmm. I've got a couple of coaching calls, one at 1, one at 2. The one at 1 is supposed to be in person, with it being, Columbus Day, that might shift. And then I have a catch-up call with a kind of newish connection and partner, and then we're having a website kind of catch up with a client who has been with us for a bit and was doing some local SEO through one of our partners, and they want to kind of catch up on how that campaign is going. So that's a light day.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I realize like looking at my schedule that not a lot of people would be like, oh yeah, this is a very light day, but just by comparison, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. And you said, yeah, run out here by 8, right?
Yeah, I have an 8 a.m. with one of the teams to kind of talk about some details and make sure we're all on the same page.
Okay, cool. All right, man. Well, I won't hold you. We'll talk about goals tomorrow, and
Yes.
we will not be complacent this week.
No complacency. No time for it. All right,
No.
Bill.
All right, man.
Have a great day.
All right, you too.